broadcasting live from our studio in Appleton, Wisconsin. You're tuned into Fox Cities Core on WCZR Code Zero Radio. We're the show that gives you an opportunity to call in and be a part of the show. Our call-in line is 920-358-0795. Core. My next guests are a fantastic indie rock duo out of Madison, Wisconsin. Their latest album is called Projecting. I'd like to welcome Meg and Eve to Fox Cities Core. How are you doing today?
Hey, we're good. Thanks for having us.
Yes, very excited to be here.
So the names are like obviously different, but similar enough. Where it's, for somebody that's already bad with names, it's for some reason hard.
But it's going to be confusing the whole time.
Yep. And we're going to trade places. Alike. We have the same mannerisms. It gets confusing. Yeah. We even get confused with each other sometimes.
Right now I am, yeah.
And I think, am I Eve?
Both of you just went out to eat.
We did.
Which at Bowl something.
It was.
Who couldn't remember the name?
We have the receipt.
Was delicious.
It was delicious. Let's look at the receipt because I want to give credit.
It can't just be Bowl something. It's Bowl 91.
Bowl 91.
And it was delicious.
Did anybody say Bowl 91, or did anybody guess that?
I think I said Bowl. I said Bowl 19. I think.
I switched them.
So Meg, you were the closest.
Yes. Price is Right rules.
So you've got about less than a half hour now before you have to split. So we'll try to move as quick as we can. I want to know about when you guys formed as a band. You've been playing since 2010, so you're already 15 years into it. Can you tell me how you met?
Oh, when you put it that way.
Yeah, it's a big number.
We met. We are both from Freeport, Illinois. Eve's a transplant to Freeport, but we met in Freeport working at an Italian restaurant.
Shout out Canova's.
Canova's Italian Pizzeria in Freeport. It's worth a stop.
Also one in Nina.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sister restaurant.
Yeah.
So people probably are familiar.
Yeah, that's true. And we just kind of met, and I had to convince Eve to hang out with me, ask quite a lot. But finally, I did, and I knew she was a musician, so we kind of jammed a little bit. We started out very folksy, and Eve's a violin player. I grew up playing the cello, and we both loved the band CocoRosie, and so some of the first songs we ever played together were CocoRosie covers. And when we first played our first show, we were called Bobo Mosey for one show. That was our band name because it was mostly CocoRosie covers.
Was that our first show ever?
Yeah, it was our first show ever.
In a coffee shop?
In a coffee shop.
Yeah. 15 years ago.
Yeah. And so it's kind of evolved over time. Whoa.
Yeah, and then we got opportunities to do some recording because
I went to school at the Madison Media Institute, may it rest in peace, and we did like a very early, like very folk album, like lots of banjo, lots of interesting textures and harmonies, but we've evolved quite a long way from that folksy side of things over 15 years.
So there was, as soon as you guys played together for the first time, there was something there that made you continue to write songs. And first time you got together, was it cover songs?
Yeah. Eve had written one song at our first show that I did harmonies for.
I don't even remember.
You've been sitting on my mind all day.
Uh-oh.
And
it's true.
It's true. That's what it was called. Yeah.
And we never recorded that.
Never recorded it officially, but we did.
We made a music video.
Have a music video for a demo.
And it was all the sights of Freeport, Illinois in that music video. We were traversing the city. We were on the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
We were like by the ice cream parlor.
But
all over the place.
To answer your question, I think because we both had a love of similar artists, that helped us be able to like make the musical connection with covers, where it was like a little more comfortable and a little less like you really have to trust somebody to write music with them. So we were able to build that trust through covering songs we both loved, and then we were able to write songs and grow through that process together.
Was the band technically, the start of the band was in Madison, right? Or was it in Illinois before that?
Technically in Freeport, Illinois, but I moved to Madison in 2011. So we were long distance, Eve in Freeport and I in Madison. Then Eve moved up to La Crosse, so we were long distance La Crosse to Madison. And then in 2016, I convinced Eve to move here. So she's been here with Well, here
Meg
as in
has
Madison.
to do a lot of convincing.
I do. Eve's a hard sell.
We're both in Madison now, though.
Yeah. So we technically started in Illinois, but most of our time we've been Madison-based.
What do you think of the music scene in Madison?
It's been really good to us in all different capacities. We've gotten so many wonderful opportunities.
Yeah, and it's really changed quite a lot in 15 years of time that we've been playing. The opportunities are different. The bands are different. Like there are bands we played with 10 years ago that aren't bands anymore, that are parts of different projects that are really successful now. Like our 2016 release show, we played with Emily Massey, who is the lead of Slow Pulp, and they went on to be this huge touring band that toured with the Pixies. So like we've gotten to see people we've played with do all these amazing things, and the venues have changed quite a lot.
Yeah.
There was, the whole buyout of Frank Productions becoming kind of a
Live
hub
Nation.
they became Live Nation. So like the High Noon and the Majestic and the Sylvia are all kind of part of one thing, but they've still been really kind to us as an independent artist. And now there's venues like the Burr Oak, the Gamma Ray, which is taking over for the Frequency, which was a Madison staple for a long time. And they just opened Atwood Music Hall, which we played on Thursday night, and it was very, very fun.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
How's the vibe in there? I want to get to that place.
It was really cool. They did a really beautiful job with remodeling, and the
sound system.
The sound sounded wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, and they made like a really nice space for the artists, so they just thought of everything, and it's very unique in there with the design. It's like curvy and organic looking and beautiful wood floor. So it's a really special, unique space. Never played any place like it. So yeah, very impressed.
So a typical question of mine would be, how did you get the name Seasaw? But I'm just going to venture that it's because of the vocals kind of playing off each other. Is that correct?
Kind of. Yeah, that's part of it.
I think, I don't even know at this point how we got to that.
Me
it
neither.
probably just popped out in conversation, but over the years we've been together, it's kind of taken on many forms. Like we are very opposite, but we balance one another out. So it's like the sea and the saw of the teeter-totter, or the movement of the ocean waves back and forth.
Or a saw.
Moving back and forth. And I think it's kind of just that, like, we balance one another out really well, and that is in harmonization as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, your harmonization, like Seesaw, when I think of Seesaw, I think of the harmonies, and it almost makes me a little anxious because if one of you is sick, like your vocals are so hand in hand, has there been a show where one of you is sick that just, because I mean, you need both of the voices. Can you tell me about some of those situations?
A show.
Yeah, about a year ago, I got out of nowhere, and this has not happened to me like in my adult life, a horrible laryngitis that couldn't speak at all. And so we had to pivot and switch to all songs that Eve was lead on. So then there was no harmony from me.
Yeah.
And it was just a duo set, the two of us. So I only played drums and synth, and that was very weird for me also to not be singing, because my brain has programmed the singing as an instrument that I'm doing with my hands. So it was, I had to like think extra hard to understand what do my hands just do on their own. And it was less fun to play without singing with Eve. So I did miss that part.
Yeah, I missed it too. Because it is like, a piece is gone, like completely gone from. So normally when I sing and I hear Meg's beautiful voice, it's like, I'm singing all these parts right now and it sounds amazing. But then when it's not there, it's like, it needs it.
Yeah.
We need each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How did that change the vibe of the show? Did people really notice?
Yes,
People
they
did
definitely
notice.
noticed, and they did clap really loud, because a few times I looked like mortified, because it's really hard to be the only singer. So they were very supportive, and they were all like, "Poor Meg." Yeah, they felt our pain, but it was just this. I think we were like first that night, and we were like, here's the deal. This has never been done, but we're gonna do it because we agreed to the show and we didn't want to let people down, so we powered through. But never again, hopefully.
Yeah, that was very strange.
We got to keep your voice good.
How many times have you played Mile of Music, and what are your thoughts on the festival?
We have
so many
played
times.
probably 4 different occasions. And it's been cool to see it evolve. We would love to be back again, but I know that it's getting like a little bit more niche with the amount of artists, and they're trying to give more artists opportunity to play, which I think is really awesome. But we really have fond memories of the first year we played, which was the second year of Mile of Music. We got to do like the first songs event at the Performing Arts Center. They had us stay in the refuge area, which I don't know if they still use that for Mile.
That was so memorable. It's like cemented in my brain because it was so pretty there and so unique. And we met a bunch of cool people because everybody was staying in that one building.
It was like summer camp.
So it was like community building. And there was like yummy food, and the whole thing was just beautiful.
Was there any chance to get any sleep in a situation like that?
We slept.
We're sleepers.
We're sound sleepers.
Yep.
But we were good.
It was really fun, and it's definitely changed over the years. But the one thing that I think we always recognize about Mile of Music is we are guaranteed a warm welcome, and we are always treated with like wonderful hospitality and respect. So that's really something that you don't find a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you've done other things like Summerfest and what are some of the other big events that you've played?
We have played Summerfest a handful of times.
Yeah.
We've done a lot. We've done unofficial showcases at South by Southwest, which I don't think the music piece is a thing anymore. I think they shut that down recently. So that's a pretty special opportunity we were able to have.
We've ventured out to Nebraska quite a few times for some festivals going on there.
Lincoln Calling we were able to play. That was really fun. That was with
Girls Rock Camp last year. What was it called? That was a cool one.
In Omaha.
And they had some really big names this year, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a fun one.
Yeah.
I think it was Girls Rock Camp. Something like, I'll look it up.
Can't remember. But we've gotten a lot of, like, I would say even more special than like a festival opportunity. We've just had the opportunity to open for so many amazing artists that are like heroes of ours. So that's been really a special thing of making music for this long.
When you started the band, did you think that you'd even get that far? Like, what was the end game when you started?
I think we still don't know what the end game is. I think my end game was to convince Eve to play music with me long term. That was what I was always hoping for. And I think we've accomplished a lot of things. And it's been fun to like each year check off another thing we never thought we'd be able to do, which has been really cool.
Yeah, we were just talking about how lucky we've been that we've gotten to tour to really special places. I was looking this up, so I don't know if you said it, but
Girl Camp.
It's GRRRL Camp in Nebraska. But we've gotten to go to New York twice, I think, and just like hit places along the way, and we did East Coast things that I probably will not get to do again, just because they were special and unique and unusual places. And I don't know, we've just seen a lot of sights. Yeah, we're really lucky that we were able to make that happen, because as like a smaller project, like everyone's pulling their own weight to make everything possible. So like Meg and myself and one of our best friends who's very important in the Madison music scene, his name's Justin Kibble. He's worked a lot with us as well, and he's made a lot of our tours possible. And it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of reaching out to venues and reaching out to bands to build bills, or like ask, can you join a bill, and the logistics of the hotels, and I don't know, it's a lot of work, but it's been really worth it every time. So, and we've had like hilarious experiences and like amazing experiences where we've gotten to play like in that church in DC.
Yeah.
Just like very unusual, I don't know, just things I would never have dreamed we would have gotten to do. We did.
Exactly.
So it's been surprising and wonderful.
I'm glad you brought up all the other things that go into being in a band. 'Cause I think people don't realize, besides playing and writing, there's a lot. Like, there's probably more that's not writing and playing that goes into it than playing.
Yeah. And we have full-time jobs, so music is not our full-time thing. And everything we have to do, like whenever we record an album, we're recording right now for our next album, and it's not going to be out for another year and a half because there's so much work that goes into recording, and then also getting the vinyl press, creating the artwork, doing all the digital things that in this video, reel, TikTok age you need to even have a percentage of people who are interested and want to hear your music know that it exists. So it is another full-time job to be a DIY musician. And we're not like unusual that we are DIY. Everyone is having to do that now. It's just a totally different landscape.
Yeah. So like we're going to work all day and then taking like 4-hour pockets of time to like go to this really cool little studio in Madison and like crank stuff out for 4 hours, and it's very fun. But yeah, that's like another full-time project, and we're plugging away, but recording takes a really long time too. So to be like, well, we've got 4 hours, we're like, we're stringing it together, but it's a nice in a way too, because you have a day to like, or a week to listen back to what you did. And it does make you have to pace yourself, which can be a good thing because there's time and space for editing. So there's pros and cons to everything. So sometimes it's good to force yourself to slow down and space things out.
Well, projecting's already been out for a while now, so you probably are getting the itch to get something else up. But projecting, it did have like the lyrics were a little, a different. Not as fun as previous, but still fun. Like you guys have a very fun sound, and you've done lots of music videos that are fun.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the next album going to be like? Are you aiming to make it a little different than past releases, or is it going to be kind of that Seasaw sound that you've already established?
I think it will have a lot of the Seasaw sound we've established. We will have projecting was recorded in my apartment using all electronic samples from my drum machine. Where Big Dogs, we had a mixture of samples and a live kit that I performed on. So this time we have a hired drummer who's helping us and doing more of the drum parts to give it kind of that drum tone that we had on Big Dogs that was like a little more beefy. But we'll still have some of the electronic elements too. So I think sonically it might be a little more reminiscent of Big Dogs than projecting. But I think we've got a lot of the fun riffs that you've come to know from Seasaw, a lot of the keyboard synth solos and like wacky tones that we like to create. But I would say the lyrics have not gotten any more fun in this current environment of life.
Yeah, I would say there's a mixture of fun and then also bummer sarcasm.
Yeah, big time. We're very sarcastic, and I think a lot of our lyrics, especially on projecting, were reflecting that we were in the middle of a humongous event that everyone was in, and rather than being very explicit with, how hard that was, we channeled that into a little bit quirkier, sarcastic kind of lyrical content.
Yeah.
So Dial Me Up is what starts, and I've got to know about the sound effect. Was that something you had on the keyboard?
I sampled that from, I took a sound off of the internet of old dial-up tone and sampled that in and affected it the way I wanted it to sound to create that.
It fit in there well, and did you write the song based around that sound bite, or did you have that?
We had the idea of something with an internet sound, and then that was really it. So I took that tone and I chopped it into a couple of different ideas and worked around on a drum beat to figure out where that might best fit. And then I brought that to Eve. We jammed for a while. Eve came up with the rip and guitar piece that goes over that drum beat, and we kind of wrote the instrumental piece of that song first, and then the lyrics came second, which is it's not often that we write a song that much together. It's usually like one of us writes the song, we bring it to the other, and we arrange a lot together. But that one we actually wrote like pretty much hand in hand. You took the lyrics on that one, but the actual instrumentation was a real
team effort. Yeah.
Do you both normally agree on a direction of a song, or has there been any situations where there was a little not happiness going around?
I mean, it's never, I would say, not happy, but we do definitely work to push one another if there's something that we're like, what if we tried this? Or I just sent Eve a whole slew of songs, and she sent me back a lot of really awesome feedback that ultimately makes the song better. And there were a couple things that we tried, and I was like, honestly, I preferred it the other way. Would that be okay? And we get to a place where it still feels authentic to our original vision, but is also a collaborative effort.
Well, I suppose sometimes it's good that you have such a trusting relationship, because even if there's something you doubt further down the line, you're like, okay, I understand what Eve was getting at, and it is better, or vice versa.
Yeah.
You both have done some really good videos, including the title track we're just talking about. Who was responsible for putting that together?
We work with a wonderful person on quite a few of our videos named Nate Chappell, and he is a comedian and just a wonderful person. He's an artist in many ways. He's our videographer, and he helped us do the Dial Me Up video, storyboarding too, and came up with a lot of creative ideas.
Yeah, and we had the idea just for that dial-up internet tone to transport ourselves back, but through the collaboration with Nate and also Justin, we were able to get to a place that felt more creative than we would have thought of on our own. So we recorded everything for that on a green screen, except for we're in our 90s bedroom. We built that bedroom from all the things that we've saved in storage in our attics for years and years, and made a fake bedroom in a room. And then everything else was done green screen, and Nate was able to transport us into these worlds with his green screening talents. So it was a very special project to work on.
How long did that take to put that together? Because there's lots of costume changes and lots of pieces that went into that.
It took us a long time to gather all the things. We thrifted a lot of the costumes, and we're really trying to find the right things for the places, because there are a lot of scene changes in that video. And then Nate worked on it for
quite a while,
a month or two. So it took him a good chunk of time to get the final idea together with the green screen. So
Nate Chappell, everyone.
Yeah. One of the best.
Do you guys have a favorite video of yours? You've got a lot of videos out there.
We do.
Favorite one. I would say one of my favorites is Ex-Girlfriend. I built the set in my basement from a lot of paper pieces, and I don't know, I made it all in this creepy basement, and then we had a lot of fun just popping those balloons full of paint all over, and we only had one shot to do it. So the person, again, a wonderful artist named Scottify, goes by Scottify, he helped us do that one, and it had to be in one take, so he was all for that. And then at the end of the video, we ended up at the end of the night walking part of the way into one of the lakes in Madison, and it was just really cool to have that full day of weird experimentation and then end by tiptoeing into the water in the dark. So it's just again, another memory that I never would think we would be doing that, but we did, and it was just a really cool creative expression that we got to do with a team and be partners in it, and then clean up that giant mess in the basement.
Yeah, our videos make a lot of messes. My favorite would be, I think, Godzilla, because Eve is an incredible artist. So again, she built that Ex-Girlfriend set from scratch, and I have the ideas, and then I never can imagine them correctly to get to the place I want, but Eve's able to piece together my weird phrases or thoughts and create something amazing. And so Godzilla, she created that Godzilla costume by hand out of felt and a sweatpants, and built the tail and built all these heads and built all the buildings of the giant city that Godzilla is learning how to crush. And that one was really fun, just to be able to play a character, which was really special. I got to be the coach of Godzilla, and then Eve got to be a Godzilla. So I don't know. And we were doing stuff that we do as friends, just walking around playing frisbee. We don't do that actually, but it was our best friendship as the coach and the Godzilla team, metaphorically. So I always liked that one, and it was very fun to film.
Yeah. And again, we had a really fun team helping us, because Nate and his other partner was helping us as well, and we got to film part of it in his house, and we were all over the place. But yeah, we've been really lucky to get to make those fun videos as well. So yeah.
Being an artist, you spend a lot of time looking at what's getting the most views on YouTube and what songs are ranking the highest on Spotify. Do you pay attention to that stuff?
It does not drive our decision-making process, but we do see it. And if something's doing well, that's always encouraging and exciting. But we do tend to notice on Instagram, if we're posting things that aren't helping us get reach, you kind of have to play that game. But I think I personally recognize that it's a metric, but I don't necessarily let it fully drive the creative decision.
And I don't really look at all I'm like not tuned into that. But Meg is and Justin is too. So yeah.
Yeah, and Justin, you've been working with him for quite a while.
We have, yep. Probably the whole duration.
Back from Coincidence.
Yeah, from Coincidence
boy.
on the look in your eyes tells me this is a bad idea.
Again, another fun video.
Yeah.
We shot it at the High Noon Saloon, and we were being like poker players in the video, having all kinds of fun.
Actually shot a video at all the Frank Productions venues, the High Noon.
Oh.
We shot Like I Love You at the Sylvie, and we shot Laugh Along at the Majestic. So we've been able to do...
And No Way at High Noon.
Oh, yeah, we did No Way at High Noon, too. So
Yeah.
The venues, again, are very
We're
supportive.
very supportive.
Yeah, of that
And
creative.
what are your views on the Appleton music scene? I mean, besides, if you take Milo music out of it, what's your opinion when you come up here and play the city, especially when you're up here on a day like today and not Milo music?
Well, we've played a few times up here that have not been Milo music that we've had a wonderful time. We've played with the most recently Traveling Suitcase, right?
Yeah, at the Appleton Beer Factory.
And that was an awesome show. The venue was great. We love Traveling Suitcase. And then a few other times maybe at that venue that's on the river, Stone Arch Brew Pub. Yes,
We
a
would-
few
It's a great
times
room.
there. That's a really special place because we've gotten to be inside and outside.
yeah.
And every place that we've played seems to have a very sweet built-in audience to a certain extent that we've benefited from. And like Meg was saying, like people are just really supportive of the arts here. So we've always have a nice time when we're playing in Appleton. Yeah.
And you're currently on a kind of a mini tour right now. Is that something you like to do?
I
We
mean,
do.
we do love to tour. It is, hard with full-time jobs to, like, I used to have a job where I had unlimited PTO, and I no longer have that job. So that's really changed what I can take off for music making purposes. And same thing with Eve has a different job now with different vacations. So I think in an ideal world, we would be touring more. But it's a challenge to, again, like, it's so much work to put that together. So we're
And it's
choosing
expensive.
to spend our energy on getting that recording done versus spending those hours at the computer, reaching out, doing the booking and all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
when opportunities come to us that feel like they're good and we are excited about them, then we move forward with them. But a lot of our energy is going into recording right now.
What's the furthest you've ever gone to play a show?
Would it be Brooklyn?
Probably.
Yeah, Brooklyn, New York, going east. It would be Austin going south. And then Omaha would be as far west as we've gone.
You've had some pretty far.
Yes, I
Tours.
remember on one of our New York tours, I got horribly, horribly sick. Like, I woke up in the morning and I was like, I have a cold. And I said, I really don't feel good. And Eve said, I'll drive. It'll be okay. It's probably nothing. And then the whole ride, like every hour, I was like, more snot, more coughing, sweating, more like, oh my God, I can't do it. Eve drove us the entire way home from Brooklyn in one day because I was so miserable.
Woo, woo, it's doable.
And you didn't get sick. Somehow you didn't catch it. Which is, I think, the most impressive part of the whole story. She's got really good immune system.
I'm good at driving 17-hour shifts. I did it all the way down to Houston, Texas one time too. I've made it to Niagara Falls.
In one trip?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really good at the long haul. Maybe I should be a truck driver. And then we would have less time to play, but maybe we could use the truck
Yeah. To haul
put the
gear.
instruments in. And then we just stop when we need to.
So the new album, not yet out.
Yes.
What was the target date for the release of that?
Oh, there is not one chosen yet. But
Stay tuned.
yeah, we are toying with the idea of releasing it in
Chunks.
smaller EPs and then putting it all into a compilation of vinyl once it's done, because the vinyl process takes 6 to 8 months to get that completed.
Yeah.
I know you've done vinyl before because my niece has some.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, thank
It's
you.
pink.
awesome.
I don't remember the album. It's pink.
too much of a
that's
good
too much
thing.
of a good thing, which is out of print now. So that's a
Collector's
special.
That's a
item.
good one. Yeah.
Is vinyl something you think it's still worth it to make?
Yes, I would say that's mostly what we sell of anything is the vinyl. Although in Appleton and last night in Green Bay, we really only sold CDs.
A lot of CDs.
A lot of CDs in Appleton and Green Bay. The Fox Cities, they like CDs. Fox City. That's a tongue twister.
Can you give us any hints on some of the song titles on the new album?
Oh, well, we'll be playing some tonight.
Oh yeah, trying so hard.
Let's talk about that. You're playing at the Fox River House tonight.
We are with Brett Newski. We played last night with him in Green Bay. It was very fun. They're wonderful. And Trying So Hard is one of the songs we've been playing out. We like to play our songs out for quite a while before we record them because it allows us to really work through, is it the right arrangement? Are we feeling good about it? Is there anything that's missing? What else is in a new?
Pure Bliss.
Oh yeah, there's one called Pure Bliss. We've got a little bit of
Make Me So
sass happening on this record.
We do.
Even more sarcasm, I would say.
Yeah,
We've kind of just reached our limits, I think. I'll speak for myself.
Cutting it off.
Well, last question for you, because I know you've got to run, but how long do you see Seasaw going for?
Forever Infinity plus
yeah,
one.
I always tell Eve, like, she's going to have to murder me to make me quit the band, so.
One of us has to, you have to, like, die to get out of the band.
Yeah. It's a death clause.
So,
we're
sorry.
basically, like, common law married at this point.
Yeah.